this project at work. Do you want to see?
Yes.
Ever since I was little, I dreamed of this perfect toy that would protect a kid from ever feeling lonely or sad. This is M3GAN.
Hi, M3GAN. I'm Katie. It's nice to meet you, Katie. Do you want to hang out? Okay.
I think Chucky's got some competition now. Even though he got renewed for a third season, he's still got competition. So, I first heard about this movie not from the trailer, because I saw the poster that was released first. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, it has James Wan's name on it, so yay. And it's got Jason Blum with it. It's like, okay, so they're working on something together. All right, let's see how this goes. Then the trailer came out, and I was going, okay, all right, this looks intriguing. This looks kind of silly, but you know, I'm gonna see this. Then more marketing came out, and then more marketing came out. I'm like, okay, I think you guys are a little bit overdoing it. So that's my first complaint, is I think they overdid it. Because, you know, in the trailer, they showed her dancing, and I'm like, that's your marketing right there. Now that that's a meme, there you go. You don't need to market anymore. Like, they had, like, dancers dress up as M3GAN and go out on a football field during a football game. And I was like, I wouldn't do that. And it was kind of like what Smile did, where they hired people to just sit there and smile at baseball games. I'm like, that's just great marketing right there. So, first complaint, this got overly marketed. But, you know, that's just one complaint. So, this movie is the story is written by James Wan and his wife Kayla Cooper, who they both did Malignant together, which, you know, if you haven't seen my review for that, you know, I hands down like really like that movie and will support it and keep supporting it. So I was like, okay, let's see what they do next. But this time James Wan didn't direct it. But when more information was coming out about it, and I heard that yes, it got a PG-13 rating, I was like, okay, like, all right, let's see how this goes. And then I heard, like, a week before I went to go see it, that it was originally rated R, and then they cut it down to a PG-13, and I immediately went, oh no, that's never good. But then they said, like, in the R-rated cut, there's more violence. They cut down the violence and made it more scarier. And I'm like, okay. So you replaced the violence and just added more scenes that were scarier. Like, okay. All right. But, you know, we'll see what happens. And I gotta say, I was very entertained watching this. I saw this with a couple of friends. And that I think this movie is one of the best movies to watch with a group of friends or at a party, because then you're all kind of like sitting around and you're kind of laughing, but then also kind of being scared at the same time. So this is, I think, a really good party movie, or a good movie to watch with some buddies and just have a really good time with. Is the story nothing new? No. You know, a artificial intelligent doll then goes against programming. You know, that there's nothing new there. But what they were really able to do is this is they made you know, M3GAN in the very beginning be like, yeah, I want to help, but then I'm just going, yeah, and even though you're telling me that, I'm like going, nope. So I think I think this should have been rated R because there's a couple parts where, you know, there are kills and I'm like, oh, it's mainly off screen, or I'm like, yeah, you could have done more violence with that, and it would have been, I think it would have been much better. But I also do like the way that they shot some of the deaths, whereas it's like, yeah, you can just imagine something more violent there, kind of like what like Halloween or Texas Chainsaw Massacre did, where it's like people think that the movie is actually really, really violent, but in reality, it's not really. So this kind of does it. This movie kind of does this, kind of does that. I would say the chemistry that M3GAN and the girl, I forget her name, but I saw her in Black Phone. I thought she was really, really good in that, and she's good in this. And I think because the just the bond that they created, I think worked quite well. So the movie is about this little girl who is kind of on. I believe they said a ski trip with her parents, and they get into an accident that kills the parents, but she's alive, so she's been taken in by her aunt, who works at this corporation that makes like these kind of like, I guess, Furbies, like knockoff Furbies. And on the side, she's building M3GAN. So then finally she gets it done, and then she has M3GAN try to bond with again, forget the little girl, and they immediately click. And this movie's also pretty funny too. Like the added humor, I think, is really funny. Like they kind of do like a little mini commercial during it to promote M3GAN. And it's like, yeah, if your kid has bad habits, it'll teach your kid to stop doing that. And the little girl has a bad habit; she doesn't flush the toilet. So every time when she comes out of the bathroom, Meg's just standing in front of the door, just going like, "Don't forget to like flush the toilet. Does it? Wash your hands with soap." And it's like, yeah, good job. And then she keeps doing it over and over again to the point where Meg's just like, seriously, go back in there and flush that toilet. And it's pretty funny because you know, if you're a parent and your kid has this really bad habit, in the beginning you're just kind of like, oh, just make sure you don't do it again, and then you're kind of like, yeah, don't forget to do this, and then after a while you're just like, all right, knock this off, like seriously. So it's pretty funny. So the added humor, I think, works quite well. I will say that I know a lot of people are like saying like, oh my god, this movie is just absolutely amazing, and I'm like, I didn't love it as much as a lot of other people did. I do like it, and I do think that when it comes out on like Blu-ray, then I would get it. But there were like little things where I was like, like okay. Mainly the aunt and who was, I forget the actress's name, but she was in Get Out, and I'm thinking the whole time, I'm like, I don't trust you. But I think the relationship between the aunt and kid, it's definitely like that relationship where you're kind of thrown into the situation. You're like, I have no idea how to handle this, and nor do I really want to. So most of their dialogue together is mainly just kind of like bickering, and then I'm at a point where the little girl starts kind of like yelling or like screaming or like saying like, I want to see M3GAN, turn M3GAN back on. I'm just like, just please listen to the adult, like please listen. And then after a while, I'm just like, all right, you need to just stop that. So it kind of got on my nerve a little bit, and I get that they're supposed to be flawed, but it was just, they kept doing it over and over and over again. To me, I was just like, okay, just stop talking. Please stop talking. And yeah, it's like, oh, I want to take M3GAN here. And I'm like, no. Like, even though you want to, it's like, no. And then yeah, then after a while, Megan's just like, yeah, you're not fit to do this, so why don't I be the adult and you just sit down and shut up? So I think the humor they added worked. I think the suspense works. There's especially scenes where, you know, Megan is just sitting in the little girl's room recharging, and the way everything's lit, and the way that she's like super tall, I'm just like, nope. Like, I'm sorry, if I would wake up in the middle of the night and I saw that just sitting there and be like, I'm sorry, but nope, I'm fine. And especially when I went to see this, and Megan starts singing a couple times, especially like Titanium, I was laughing, and then I just heard someone go, oh hell no. So it was funny, which is what I said. Like, I think this is a great movie to show like your friends, or if you want to show your like family something that's like not too scary, but it's also quite funny at the same time. It doesn't really take itself seriously. It knows exactly what it's playing around with. Then go right ahead. I would definitely recommend this. I would think you'd be really entertained. So I think this gets a great. Like I said, there was like those like little mini nitpicks in there. I think they did a really good job. And even Cooper said that in the original script, yeah, she was like, yeah, there's more people that die in the original script. So now they said that a sequel is in early development, like literally like a week after, or like, no, actually, I think it was like a couple days after the movie came out. They were like, no, we're doing another one, and we're going to release an unrated cut. So I'm like, all right, cool. So yeah, I just really hope so it gets a grapes, but I really hope that, you know, in the future we don't get this kind of stuff, but oh well.
Megan! What's wrong with you? Don't worry, Katie. I won't let anything harm you. Ever again.
It's nice.